voice of all the Saiyans! And I'm back again, and I'm finally bringing back Would You Rather. You guys have asked me to bring it back, and that's what I'm doing.
I'm finally bringing it back.
I am inviting the one, the only, Rouge. How are you doing?
Well, hello, big boy. I'm doing well.
That's not a terrible voice actress.
I am so proud you're here.
I was hoping they were 3D models,
We
though.
don't get many of the
So,
animal
I mean, they at least got her free rider's uniform, her free rider's sprite.
Her most whorish outfit.
Oh, big boy. Yeah, sorry. Big boy.
Very good friend. How good of a friend are we talking here? We're talking like best.
That went exactly how I thought it would
Hello
go.
everyone, it is your prince of the motherfucking Saiyans, and I am back doing another Would You Rather episode with the lovely, voluptuous 18 and my wonderful, adoring, sexy, big-titted wife. How are you two lovely women doing today?
Adoring big-titted wife.
Okay, we've been recording for 58 seconds.
No
more
Prince
Vegeta.
So, I don't think there's been enough Prince Vegeta.
I think there's been enough Prince Vegeta. Disclaimer! Crossing the Line is not a show intended to bully or harass anyone. Do not go out of your way to find or mess with the authors featured on our podcast. They make what we do possible, and we love them. And you. Thanks. Enjoy.
Just think if you just used 18 measly gigabytes, you could make some cool SFM animations for our channel.
You're right, you're right.
You could make cool 3D models of us in Blender.
I would like that a lot. I would at some point love to learn how to like model and whatnot. It'd be cool to do 3D animation.
Make us like a bunch of PS1 models where we just have textures for faces.
Yeah, that would be great. I love low poly. Oh god.
I can't believe this isn't the sink anymore because the cat can reach the sink now.
Really?
Yes.
Holy crap.
I watched it learn today that it struggled to make the jump a couple times.
Oh man.
Did you turn the water on while he was inside the sink?
I scrubbed the sink clean because it immediately went for licking the water out of the sink.
Jeez.
Do you ever think to just give him more water? He seems very thirsty from all the stories you've been telling us.
True.
You've been telling us a lot of stories where he's going out of his way to drink water.
He's learned how to use a straw.
That's bad water. He needs fresh water.
He's fresh water in a straw.
It's got dust in it.
I refresh the water daily.
Daily?
Yes. What, you want me to keep a tracker on there?
Need to get one of those hamster things that has the tube on it.
Yeah, that would be cool.
You'd probably like that.
Probably.
Yeah,
He'd probably rip it off the wall.
Yeah, you'd probably eventually run it.
Probably.
Wow.
Welcome to Crossing the Line, a fanfiction podcast where we read, review, and critique fanfiction for your listening pleasure. Now that we've got all the cat chores out of the way, we can get down to business and go into reading the fanfictions. Am I right, fellas?
We're gonna
Yes.
Pokemon Go into it.
That's not what we're doing!
It's time to They've already done that one.
It's true, we did. Episode 6, Yu-Gi-Oh!
What's the sound it makes when they transform?
Just like...
What, Power Rangers?
What, Power Rangers? Is that what we're doing?
Hi guys, we're doing Power Rangers.
We're doing Chris Saban's Power Rangers. That's not his name. His name's Hayam Saban.
Well, what's everyone's experience with Hayam Saberman's Power Ranger?
Hayam Saban is the man responsible for bringing a lot of Japanese tokusatsu programming into America, such as Power Rangers, VR Troopers, Beetleborgs, and others. They also dubbed Digimon for some reason. Turn that goddamn notification sound off while I'm talking about Power Rangers.
They also dubbed Digimon?
Mm-hmm. Digimon Adventure, Season 2, Tamers, and I believe even Frontier were all Saban productions.
Oh, okay.
Well, I watched it as a kid a lot. I specifically remember watching a lot of Time Force and the movie. The one with Ivan Ooze, of course.
Of course. There are no other movies to worry about.
Pretty much same here. I watched it like before Sonic X would come on Saturday mornings, and there was one episode that stuck out to me where one of the Red Ranger, he got these like cool claw things down his arms, and he in his words tapped into a whole new level of power, and it was really cool because he just like sliced a putty or some shit with his arms.
Well,
That sounds pretty cool.
It was really cool. I remember that was like the inspiration for like weapons I used to draw as a kid because it was like really cool. Just the diamonds on his suit turning into blades.
Was that like Jungle Fury or something?
Something like that. I can't remember. I think it was like the ones where they had the shield masks and stuff.
That's Lightspeed Rescue.
Yeah, I think it was that one.
That one was cool. They had a damn biddy for a bad guy, that's for sure. And they had the train Megazord.
oh yeah.
The train one was cool. For some reason, that one really stands out in my memory.
Because it can only drive on tracks.
I guess it was just like massive compared to the other ones because it's like all the pieces were literal train cars. Anyway, I've seen a shit ton of Power Rangers up until I refused to watch more of Turbo because Power Rangers Turbo is objectively a bad show.
You gotta get through it so we can watch the next one.
You're not watching it though.
It's okay, you can fill me in.
Bulk and Skull got turned into monkeys, and then they got turned invisible.
And then they got turned not at all.
And now they're back to normal, and I haven't watched since.
I love how out of their way they went to write them off to some degree.
But they kept, they got turned back to people for like an episode, and then they got turned invisible.
I know.
And then they had invisible antics.
They just do their voice acting still?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hey, Bulky, wanna go eat some bananas?
Oh, yeah.
Righto, Skullovich. Let's go.
Skullovich.
That's crazy.
That's so funny.
Beyond that, I had a PS1 game. The
Lightspeed Rescue.
That was like the isometric one.
Lightspeed Rescue.
Is that it? I don't know.
That's like the only game that came out on the PS1.
I thought there was a fighting game out on PS1. Is
Mm-mm.
that Super Nintendo?
Yes.
Okay. Then yes, Lightspeed Rescue, of course.
Yeah, the cool one that you have the crowd that goes, yay! That sound familiar?
I don't remember. I remember having to look for levers and pulling them on a 3D isometric plane.
Mm-hmm.
Help over here!
And
Thanks!
You just walk around and you shoot stardust out of your hands.
Yeah.
Yes. I also had a lot of action figures.
True. Had one of those ones where you pull the trigger on the back and the head flips.
I
Yeah.
had that one too. Mine was of Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger.
Nice.
I had a couple of Red Rangers. I think my parents were convinced I liked that one. I don't know why.
Same.
The one I had because they couldn't make it work, I guess, with his piece, so he just didn't have his chest piece, but he was still the Green Ranger.
Mm-hmm. I had like that flippy do, and I had a bigger one that was the Blue Ranger. And when you pressed a button on his shoulder blade, he did a karate chop, and like the hand was really loose with a hinge, so you could just do this if you flipped him really fast. It was really funny.
Oh, I love toys like that.
Mm-hmm.
For those at home, he was waving his wrist back and forth
In a karate chop motion.
in a wimpy, dangling motion.
As the Green Ranger does.
It was the Blue Ranger. It was Billy. He got called mean words.
Billy has carpal
In real
tunnel.
In real life.
Yes, in real life.
That famous scene from Power Rangers, the movie, when he has to flick his wrist.
They made him do 1,000 takes, and then he got carpal tunnel.
1,000.
They just couldn't get this one scene right.
So come on, Billy, put some limp into it.
Then they called him something arbitrary. And he got sad.
Arbitrary.
Look up what Billy was called on Google, and have a bad laugh.
What was Billy? I'll look that up right now. What was Billy called?
What was Billy from Power Rangers called?
Billy from Power Rangers called.
You'll probably find it.
Let's see. Billy Cranston. Billy Cranston is a fictional character in the Power Rangers universe. He's the Blue Rangers in the series Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He was portrayed by actor David Yost. So if you want to know, look up what was David Yost called, and you'll figure it out. I'm pretty sure it's even in the Wikipedia. Anyway, we got stories to read. The latest and greatest in crossover history.
Indeed.
On this hot episode 45 of Crossing the Line podcast.
Let's see. I can go first if you'd like.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Your cat's got a little pink pussy on him.
Oh no.
He's a boy. He does not.
Right. Anyway.
The putty patrollers crowded the gang of 6, pushing them ever closer to the edge of the building. Their clay fists pounded the air as they drew nearer. What do we do? What do we do? Whispered the Blue Ranger. On the count of 3, we are all going to attack, whispered back Red. Guys, I'm kind of stuck in the middle here, said Yellow loudly. He was pressed on 3 sides by his teammates. His 4th side was open to the strong, gusting wind pulling him off the side of the building. He made the
fourth side. Why don't say he's back?
He made the mistake of looking down and immediately felt dizzy. He wobbled precariously. 3, 2, 1! Shouted the Red Ranger, and all at once 5 of the Rangers struck the Z logos on the putty patrollers' chests. The clay beings exploded. Their shards hit other Z logos, setting off a chain reaction of epic proportions. The force was so strong the Rangers had to brace themselves, and as they did, a nudge from a red-covered elbow hit a blue-covered chest, which caused a blue-covered back to knock a yellow-covered shoulder, which caused a yellow-covered foot to step off the ledge.
Oh my god.
The Yellow Ranger plummeted down 45 stories.
Plummeted.
His little bitch screams gave way to the sickening crunch his body made as it hit the pavement. The other 5 Rangers looked over the edge. Tears welled up in their eyes as they realized what just had happened. The Yellow Ranger was dead.
I mean, they had time to watch him fall.
45
stories.
That's a long time.
His little bitch screams.
They watched him as he fell 45 stories and called him a bitch and laughed, and then he fell and died for real.
Alpha 5 held a clipboard up for Zordon to read. Pondered the floating head from inside his energy tube. These guys all appear to be quite short. That's why we're putting them through Power Ranger training to make sure they're good enough, Alpha 5 replied.
I know which one this is.
He turned to the clipboard to look at it. Don't call it training. This is simply a physical, said Zordon.
I would never train my employees. That costs money.
To save the world.
How can you conduct a physical? There's nothing physical about you, called the Black Ranger from his spot on the sofa.
On the sofa? They brought us damn sofa into the morphing grid. That makes me so mad.
A laugh track echoed through their base.
You brought a laugh track into the morphing grid. It's on the couch next to the Black Ranger.
It's just sitting there full in uniform.
Alpha 5 left to go bring in the candidates as the rest of the Power Rangers filed in to size up their possible new team members. The red one held a large crushed velvet box. Inside was the Yellow Ranger's power coin. Bob, Phil, Stuart, and Kevin entered the main room of the command center. Their eyes were wide in awe as they saw the expanse of electronics lining the black, sparkly walls. Banana, Kevin said in wonderment. His one eye grew so large it seemed to eclipse his entire face. Why the fuck is that one dressed as a baby? The Black Power Ranger yelled at Zordon. He gestured wildly at Stuart, who was in fact wearing a diaper and drinking from a bottle. There is no kink shaming in the command center, Zordon said without emotion. You should know that more than anyone else. The Black Ranger's helmet blushed red as he sat back down. However, the Red Ranger was not about to drop this topic. No, Zordon, I refuse to have this pervert on our team. It would tarnish the image of the Yellow Ranger. I can't allow you to do that to Trini. Red commanded. He took off his helmet and looked Zordon right in his big hologram eyes. If you feel that strongly, Zordon said. He motioned with his eyebrows for Alpha 5 to remove the disgusting minion. Oh my god.
Just the disgusting one.
Author's note, Stuart was kink-shamed so hard that he stopped dressing like a baby in public. This explains why he chose to dress like a baby in the first movie and like a maid in the second one. His kinks were forced to evolve.
Force.
Oh my god. And then there were 3.
I feel like we brought this up before. Like, how do you know which minion is which? Do they have, like, definite names?
They do.
And they have very, very slight differences in design.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like, one's taller, but that's about as, like, expansive as it gets.
One has one eye.
Yeah.
Right.
And they each they have different tones in their bas and their nas.
Was that present in the first movie, or is that just, like, more present in the second movie?
I haven't seen it.
What? Are you talking, like, the lore of Despicable Me?
Yeah, do you think they really cared in the first one?
Like
Steven delved deep into the Despicable Me lore.
In the first one, there was like 2 that were definable, but that's just because they had the most screen time. But then like it was like the Minions movie in the second one where they like because the Minions had blown up, so they felt the need to define them more.
I feel like the first Despicable Me is probably really good.
It is. The first one's like perfectly fine. It's a really decent movie, but like they got too big for their britches way too fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they shoehorned in a love interest in the second movie.
Right.
And then they had a funny reference villain in the third movie.
Oh, yeah.
And doesn't he have a brother so they're basically doing an Adam Sandler gag in Despicable Me 3?
Yeah, he has that brother. It's just him with a blonde wig.
Why do they need to do that? It's animated.
I really like that low quality picture of the principal dressed up as Gru. Here it is going across the screen.
I love
it's very funny.
That was really good. Oh my god. We are going to begin with your physicals. Please step behind the curtain and remove your overalls and your glasses. Zordon read off the script that HR prepared for him.
Alpha 5.
HR made this safe for work.
The only person who works there. The robot.
HR.
The robot who understands human resources.
From there, Alpha 5 will conduct your physicals one at a time. The little yellow boys walked behind the curtain. Their chortles of glee echoed through the room as they got undressed. They threw their overalls up into the air as they danced around. Banana, they yelled in unison. Alpha 5...
Banana.
Alpha 5 just wanted to get this over with, so he roughly pulled Kevin into the observational cubicle. What's your age? Banana. Your weight? Banana. Any health problems I should be aware of? Banana. How are your eyes? Kevin didn't respond.
Aye. I hate working in HR.
The sad, naked, yellow square looked at the ground. A teardrop hit his bare foot. Alpha 5 repeated the questions again, never looking up from his clipboard. When he still did not receive an answer, he threw it to the ground in anger, only to see the little sad minion. What's wrong? Asked Alpha 5 quietly. I can't see very well. I only have one eye, Kevin properly responded for the first time in his life. That's no problem. I will just stick you in this machine here. Alpha 5 picked up the living Twinkie and placed him in one of the Power Rangers' high-tech tubes. And you'll be fixed in no time.
Fixed?
The machine whirred to life as Kevin panicked inside. A thick gray smoke filled the chamber as the minions screamed.
Alpha, don't leave him in there too long. That machine costs a lot of money.
His tiny hands banged against the glass to no avail. The smoke hid him from view until the machine and Kevin ceased to make any sound. A loud ding signified the end of the cycle, and Alpha 5 opened the door. Gray smoke billowed out, and there stood Kevin. He was taller and more slim, less of a square and more of a rectangle, and on his face was not one eye, but two. Banana, Kevin laughed. Banana, banana. He repeated over and over again until he left the door.
His one character trait.
Author's note, with Kevin's newfound perfect eyesight and depth perception, he was able to live out his dreams of becoming a fighter pilot, but he missed his friends so much that he came back for the second movie. This explained his character design. His character redesign. Okay. Bob and Stuart looked at each other quizzically before randomly bursting into a fit of laughter. It seems like these guys only have half a brain, said the Pink Ranger. Yeah, they seem really stupid, agreed Black. Zordon thought to himself. What if we combine them?
Do not.
The two remaining minions looked at Zordon.
You're playing God, Zordon.
Then at the machine Kevin had been trapped in, then at each other. Alpha 5 quickly made his way over to grab both the minions, but they rolled their squishy bodies away and bounced up and down. They bounced and bounced until Stuart landed on Bob's flat head. Ah, banana, they both said. Then Bob walked around as Stuart rode atop of him. It was as if they were one person. Or, I guess that could work, Zordon said.
It won't.
The Power Rangers hesitantly agreed that two minions were better than one. The Red Ranger picked up the crushed velvet box once again and presented Stuart and Bob with the Yellow Ranger power coin. The end.
They can't both morph into one Ranger.
I like how Red tried to fight it and then just gave up and handed the box over. Like, I won't stand for this. He's like, fine, I guess you considered it.
I like how Zach pulled them an entire couch into their base. Just dragged it in and left marks on the floor so he could chill.
I rate this one HR disaster out of 10.
I was gonna rate it 1 HR degree in robotics.
I rate this one robot's struggle to just forget it.
One robot's struggle to be the only HR manager in his two-man team.
One robot's struggle to understand human resources. While Elias gets another brew, I'm gonna pull mine up.
Okey-doke.
My half water.
I've had this one waiting in the wings for a long, long time.
Oh boy.
Okay, here we go. Episode 0, Prologue. Evil had been awakened. Finally, after 4,000 years, I'm free! Time to conquer Earth, said Rita. Zordon must train a team quickly. Alpha, Rita's escape. Recruit 5 teenagers with attitude. They must harness the power of God to destroy evil. Together, you are the Power Rangers, and you will use the power of God to save the world.
Power of God.
But some of them don't believe in God.
He's referred to himself as God twice.
Dude, we don't believe in God. There's no way 5 teens can save the world. Let's go, guys, said Zach. And the government will not support them. What? Yelled Clinton. And leave the country in the hands of these vigilantes? I want Eagle ready sooner. The only way for the Power Rangers to overcome evil is to combine the power with the Bible. May the power and the Lord protect them.
Oh my god.
Okay. And then
Yelled Clinton.
this will be a crossover. So this is your preface for the story.
Oh,
Okay. It's like fucking long, so I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but I just wanted to get a taste in this. This will be a crossover of the Bible and Power Rangers, and later on we'll have a little bit of Chuck, Numbers, and Super Sentai in it as well. This will be a rewrite of all the Power Rangers series, with the Morphin Grid being powered by God, and some of the Rangers will believe in God, while others will not, causing many conflicts. This will not be 100% accurate to the Bible, although I will try. I will also add the biblical events of the rapture, the tribulation, the battle of Armageddon, the second coming of Christ, the millennial kingdom, Satan's doom, and the coming of the New Jerusalem.
How long is this?
Holy shit.
I think this one is 92,000 words, and this is split into like 3 chunks.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
This is a masterpiece.
Yeah, this one in particular is Zordon era,
Oh my god.
which spans 4 or 5 shows.
Who do you think wrote this? Like,
I
give
could
me
tell you who, but
No. Give me a demographic you assume wrote this.
a Christian who likes Saturday morning TV.
What age?
Not an adult.
Okay.
Probably
Anyway,
like a middle school, early high school, maybe. Someone with a lot of time on their hands.
Okay, that's fair. But this is such an undertaking to reference.
yeah, and they went through the whole thing. There's like post Zordon era and post Disney era.
Oh my god.
They're in it for the long haul. Anyway, there will be many biblical characters in here, like Michael, Gabriel, John the Revelator, Satan, the Antichrist/Beast, the false prophet, the 2 witnesses, and of course, Jesus Christ himself. And many more biblical characters will appear. Some politicians, like Presidents Clinton, Bush, and Obama, will appear as well. Some of them will be portrayed eviler than others, and I'm not saying that's how they are in real life. I may make a real-life politician the Antichrist, and I'm not saying this person is. Enjoy episode 1, Day of the Dumpster, which is the actual first episode.
Day of the Dumpster.
I just got hit with a big wave of dread, thinking he may rewrite every single episode of Power Rangers.
In accordance with the Bible.
Fucking
Giving them the power of God.
against the evil Obama Repulsa.
Obama Repulsa.
Yeah.
Okay. Author's note: the Yellow Power Ranger will appear as in Gokaiger when a female morphs into the Yellow Power Ranger. Okay. So this guy not only knows Power Rangers, but also the original source material and the Bible. He's got a lot of time on his hands. Each one of those have a lot of lore to them. In 1993, astronauts were on the moon and found a space dumpster. I wonder what this is, said the first astronaut. Let's open it, said the second astronaut. They open the dumpster and out pops 5 villains. Finally, after 4,000 years, I'm free. Time to conquer Earth, said Rita Repulsa, and the astronauts ran back to their spaceships and returned to Earth. Meanwhile, on Earth, Zordon has detected Rita's escape and says, Alpha, Rita's escape. Recruit 5 teenagers with attitude. And 5 teenagers from nearby Angel Grove are teleported to the command center. It's that easy. Where am I? Asked Jason. You are in the command center, said Zordon. What do you want with us? Asked Kimberly. Your world is in danger, my dear, said Zordon. And I want you to save it. Alpha, hand them the power morphers. Alpha hands the 5 teens the power morphers. These are drawn from the power of ancient beasts from God's creation. Kimberly, you have been given the power of the pterodactyl, fast and graceful.
I drew these and drawn to life.
Stop calling Zordon God. That's an affront of the Lord, and you should respect him.
He's the creator from Drawn to Life. I drew these on my 200 by 300 pixel DS screen.
It was so sick.
I've been playing a lot of Drawn to Life lately, and I really think
He doesn't have hands! Alpha, boot up Drawn to Life for me.
The story will also include
down
lore
left,
from Drawn
green
to
pixel,
Life.
down right, orange pixel.
Alpha 2, activate the grid. I have to make it accurate.
Put my DS in the morphing grid. I need to access it. Now. Trini, you have been given the power of the saber-toothed tiger, fierce and brave. Billy, you have been given the power of the triceratops, intelligent and cunning. Zack, you have been given the power of the mastodon, honorable and surprising. Last, Jason, you have been given the power of the Tyrannosaurus, strong and courageous. With these traits, you will be the leader. Together, you are the Power Rangers, and you will use the power of God to save the world. Dude, we don't believe in God, and there's no way 5 teens can save the world. Let's go, guys, said Zack, walking out with everybody except Jason. Do you feel this way, Jason? Asked Zordon. Hey, Jason, you coming? Asked Zack. No, in fact, I believe in Christ, but I must go and try to convince the others. I understand, said Zordon. May the power protect you. And Jason ran after the others.
God.
Which one's Jason?
The Red Ranger.
That's so fucking funny.
Of course he would be the one.
No way, I don't believe in God. And they walk out.
After they get teleported here.
Right.
Like, whatever, I'll walk home. They just walk out, like in the middle of the desert.
At the Moon Palace, Rita is planning her attack on Earth. First, said Rita, Goldar, you take a squad of putties and wipe out the command center. Guys, we shouldn't have left him. I mean, he chose us to save the world. I say we do it, said Jason. Do you really think we can? Trini asked. Hey guys, you don't even know what you're talking about. I mean, we talking to a giant floating head, said Zack. Jason gave a half smile before feeling the wind suddenly change. I've got a bad feeling about this, said Jason as Goldar and the putties teleport right in front of the command center and the Rangers.
Not Goldar.
Yeah, he's so strong.
Rangers, I believe in God. So I heard you Rangers believe in God.
Just chuckling to himself.
He is a villain after all.
Oh my god.
Rangers, said Zordon through the loudspeakers of the command center, raise your power morphers high and call upon the name of your beast. It's morphin' time. Mastodon, said Zack. Pterodactyl, said Kimberly. Triceratops, said Billy. Saber-toothed tiger, said Trini. Tyrannosaurus, said Jason. The Rangers stand examining themselves and Goldar is getting bored. Putties, Goldar said. Attack them. The putties go after the Rangers. Rangers, said Zordon. There's no action here, despite what he wants there to be. Pull out your blade blasters to defeat the putties. Right, said Jason. Blade blaster! The Rangers use their blade blasters in blaster mode to destroy the putties and then convert them to sword mode to injure Goldar.
The Rangers just pull out real guns and shoot him.
To injure Goldar.
Use your god guns. Grow, Goldar! Shrieked Rita from her palace, and she throws down her wand and Goldar grows. And this is definitely not an adult writing this, I can promise you that. We need...
I was gonna say, Zordon's like, Rangers, I gave you all guns. Check your pockets. Pull them out, shoot those guys.
They're an abomination of the Lord. Take them out. Rita Repulsa is playing God with creationism.
I give you God permission to kill them in cold blood.
Rita Repulsa is literally a creationist. She creates living beings with her putty.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Why wouldn't they just make her the Antichrist?
Maybe she is.
She's also a politician.
Yes. Alright, Rangers, log on, said Jason. Zach here, this is kickin', said Zach. Billy here, systems nominal, said Billy. Trini here, all systems go. Kimberly here, let's beat this gold bot, said Kimberly. The Tyrannosaurus hit its Goldar with its tail. Mastodon freezes Goldar, and then Triceratops, Sabertooth Tiger, and Pterodactyl all shoot him. Goldar knocks them over with his sword. Rangers, said Zordon through the intercom. You can form the Megazord by uniting your Dinozords. Megazord, power on, said Jason, and the Megazord tank mode is formed. Things just happen.
He's just pushing through the parts of the episode he doesn't want to talk about.
I had to look up Bible Man because I wanted to see what abilities Bible Man had. It'd be really funny if you referenced them here.
If only.
Zordon's gonna give him the Sword of Spirit and the full armor of God.
Mm-hmm. I love that. The FAG.
Jesus Christ.
Trini here, this is amazing. I seem to know how to drive this thing, said Trini. Affirmative, I do too. It's almost like second nature to me, said Billy.
Affirmative, I don't have a driver's license. This is cool.
With the power of God, most individuals can use the morphing grid to learn things that moments ago you only thought possible, said Zordon. Rangers, transform your power coins into the power crystals and use them to power your cannons. Rangers, power up your power crystals, said Jason. Right, 3, 2, 1, go, said the other Rangers, and the cannons fire, making Goldar fall back. Rangers, the Megazord has an upright formation. Use it and summon the Power Sword to finish Goldar. Activating Megazord battle mode, says Jason. Megazord secrets initiated. Megazord activated. Power Sword, said Jason, and heaven opens up. And the Power Sword flies out and lands in Megazord's hand. Goldar and the Megazord exchange blows, and the Megazord swipes in a circle its finisher and forces Goldar to retreat. Power down, says Jason, and the Megazord separates. The Rangers teleport to the command center and demorph. Let me tell you right now, this is not a very, this is nothing to do with the actual first episode of the show.
That's good.
They started off with the plane, the spaceship, and then being teleported, but then he just wrote his own story. Mm-hmm. So we are getting into some original terrain.
Good to know it's 90,000 words of OG content.
Mm-hmm. Rangers, you did an excellent job, said Zordon. But if you want to continue to serve us Rangers, you must swear 3 things. Never use your power for personal gain. Never escalate a battle unless your opponent forces you to. And never reveal your identity. No one must know you are a Power Ranger. You must follow these rules, or the power will cease to protect you. Do you swear? We swear, said the Rangers in unison. Very well, said Zordon. You may return to your lives for the time being. May the power protect you, and the Rangers teleported out of there. When the astronauts returned to Earth, they reported what they saw to the head of NASA and were sent to the President Clinton himself as they described what happened, and he looked concerned. Gentlemen, to protect this country, I will activate something that JFK started. He set up a program so that if Earth ever met anything from outer space that was hostile, we could protect this great country. This organization has been semi-active for years and has technology farther ahead than anyone else. Now I'll make fully active and fully known to man, and we will use it to stop any attacks. The name of the organization is the Earth Guard League, or EAGLE. Do you want to read another exciting chapter?
Sure.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Episode 2, Teamwork. A few days later, Billy brings some devices to the others. Guys, he began. I have made these wrist communicators so we can talk to each other I have made these wrist communicators so we can talk to each other and the command center. Cool, said Zach as Billy passed them out. Let's test them, said Billy, and the Rangers tested them and they teleported to the command center. Well done, Billy, said Zordon. You have tapped into the command center's teleportation system. Give them to Alpha and he will turn them into communicators, as you originally intended. But what? But they are communicating. You didn't do a good enough job, Billy. You don't know shit about communications.
Do it again.
Let me see those.
As he makes Billy drop them on the floor, fully knowing he doesn't have hands to hold them.
Zordon commands high quality control.
Billy, hand them over. Give them to me.
He just puts some stickers on them and is like, now they're Power Ranger brand communicators.
Now put them in my mouth. Do it again.
May God have mercy on your soul, Billy. You have tapped into the Lord's network.
Oh, Billy, your journey with God is hitting some bumps.
So, Billy, those know the location of my hideout, do they? Need you to tell me
My hideout?
In order to test your...
That's so insidious.
In order to test your faith in God, I'm going to need you to destroy those right now. And never make them again.
Rangers, said Zordon. Rita has sent King Sphinx. Go and protect the city. All right, said Jason. It's morphin' time. And just to save us time and annoying stuff, I'm just going to skip past all the obligatory transformations and same things you would hear every episode.
Okay.
The Rangers use their blade blasters, but they aren't enough and are knocked back. Alpha, teleport them here, said Zordon as the Rangers appear. As I said, I only skipped where they transform, where they say their names. Rangers, I am giving you the power weapons.
Okay.
They lost one fight. Zordon's like, alright, you're not trying hard enough. Here, use these. I could have given you these from the start, but... They just teleport down to do a God-given drive-by, miss, and Zordon says, alright, let's try this instead.
Try using actual guns.
The God gun.
These were given to me by President Clinton.
My Bible blasters.
President Clinton is all about eagle, that's different.
They're Desert Eagles.
This technology is further than anything you've seen before. Just a tray of pistols.
Like, wow, these are heavy.
These are cool.
Real advanced fucking technology, just actual guns.
Kimberly, to you is the power bow. Trust in it and you won't miss. That's wow. Trini, to you is the power daggers. Even though they are short, they are powerful. Billy, to you is the power lance. Use it to put distance between you and the enemy. Zack, to you is the power axe. With faith in it, you can move mountains or make them collapse. Jason, to you is the mighty power sword. You can do anything with it if you trust it. If needed, you can unite them to form the power blaster. Back to action, says Jason as they teleported back to the city. The Rangers use their power weapons to put space between themselves and King Sphinx, but still haven't hurt him. I hate how just action just doesn't happen. And then they all say their weapons, and they shoot the thing, destroying King Sphinx. More phenomenal, says Kimberly. On the moon, Rita says, make my monster grow! Just out of context, she's doing something else.
Oh, okay.
And throws her wand to earth and King Sphinx grows. We need dinosaur power now! Kimberly here, let's beat this king wannabe. The Tyrannosaurus hits King Sphinx with his tail. Mastodon freezes King Sphinx, and then Triceratops, Sabretooth, and the Pterodactyl all shoot him. He just copy and pasted from the last chapter!
Their signature moves.
True, that does capture the show pretty well.
Where they reuse the footage. King Sphinx knocks them over with his wings. Megazord power on! Rangers, power up your power crystals! Says Jason. Right, 3, 2, 1, go! Power sword! Said Jason, and heaven opens up and the power sword flies out and lands in Megazord's hand. Megazord and King Sphinx exchange blows, and then Megazord uses its finisher and King Sphinx explodes. Power down, says Jason, and the Megazord separates the Rangers, teleported back to the command center, and demorph. Rangers, here are your wrist communicators, said Alpha, and hands them back to the Rangers. Teleport back to Angel Grove. Mr. President, says one of Clinton's aides, 5 heroes dubbed Power Rangers have fought against this threat and even have a giant robot called Megazord to destroy monsters. Since the threat of space has been already countered, should I cancel Eagle? What? Yelled Clinton. And leave the country in the hands of these vigilantes? I want Eagle ready sooner!
Jesus
Clinton calms down.
That was fast.
Maybe we can use this to our advantage. I want those Power Rangers studied and see if we can learn anything from them. After we have Eagle in place, I want them captured, stripped of their powers, and executed.
Holy shit!
Holy crap. You think Clinton can just strip the power of God?
Not if they believe hard enough.
Who did he have in his office in the first chapter?
Just an aide.
Okay, I thought he brought them all into his office after their fight for some reason.
No, he hates the Power Rangers. They're vigilantes. Even if they work for God.
I thought it was gonna be this thing where he was working with them when they're normal, and then they would go off and be the vigilantes, kind of like J. Jonah Jameson.
Mm-hmm.
But
There wasn't as much God in this chapter as I like, but it says here the next chapter has Tommy in it.
Tommy, God.
Yes.
Well, that chapter was short enough.
Okay. Green with Evil, Part 1.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Jason is in a karate competition that is about to begin. Fighting for Angel Grove, said the announcer, Jason Lee Scott. And fighting for Stone Canyon, Tommy Oliver. Begin in 3, 2, 1, go! Jason hits Tommy, scoring his first point. Tommy kicks Jason, scoring his first point. Jason, in return, knocks Tommy's feet out from underneath him and scores his second point. Tommy then hits Jason and scores his second point, and then immediately after kicks him and then hits him again, scoring his third and fourth points. Jason does a double kick and scored his third and fourth points. Time's up, said the announcer. The score is 4-4. It's a tie. Good job, said Jason, panting. You too, said Tommy, also breathing heavily. Hey, this is my last contest on Stone Canyon's team. I've moved to Angel Grove and I'll be starting at Angel Grove High School tomorrow, so I'll be seeing you around more. Want to train after school tomorrow? Jason asked.
The day after you move?
Sure, said Tommy.
Or the same day he's moving?
Hey Tommy, said Kimberly. I'm Kimberly, and I was wondering, do you want to hang out at the juice bar after school? Sure, it's a date, said Tommy. Tommy just...
What the fuck?
Jason's still there! Tommy is pussy whipped at frame 1.
Damn. Holy
Jason's
shit.
like, Tommy, we have training. Put your dick away for 1 second.
But you said we were gonna hang out. You don't have a pussy.
You just don't get it.
You're in the front of the Lord. Sure, it's a date, said Tommy. Tommy walks out and is attacked by putties. He beats them up and Rita appears.
Oh.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Tommy! I have chosen you to be my Green Ranger, said Rita, and they teleport to her palace.
Okay.
What do you want with me? Asked Tommy. Don't you
Just
humans...
told you.
He doesn't mean anything. I want you to be my green man. He's like, okay.
I want you to be green.
My Green Simpsons.
I want to watch The Simpsons together.
She just invites him to Netflix and chill.
He starts putting in a DVD and he's like, wait, which season is that? He's like, season 14. Is there a problem? And he's like,
It's season 8.
I'm on the moon, so I can't really leave. But
Aha! Here we go. Season 8 with the starting of the episode where Skinner is not actually Skinner.
he's like, oh.
Specifically the episode where it started jumping the shark.
Tommy, a super Simpsons buff. Dying at the seams.
Oh no, I don't wanna.
gripping the chair.
Gripping into his knees. His pants are bleeding.
There's nothing he can do. She teleported him to the moon.
They're sitting next to each other. She's like watching Simpsons on her wand. No, there's a scene that's not in American. It's in Super Sentai where she's like channeling a skull crystal ball thing, and she's trying to use the power to summon Satan, and she starts bleeding out of her eyes because she does the incantation wrong. So just imagining that while she's watching Simpsons on it, and Tommy's there too.
Tommy's eyes are bleeding for a different reason.
No. Summoning Great Satan.
Oh, you like this episode, do you, Tommy?
Makes me cry with joy too.
Don't you humans listen, says Rita. Now touch that green candle in front of you. When Tommy touched it, he was turned into evil, and the Dragonzord power was given to him. Here is your power coin, said Rita, handing him the Dragonzord power coin and gold power morpher. Use it to become the Green Ranger. Dragonzord, said Tommy. Tommy, you have been given the power of the dragon, deadly and swift. Now go to Earth and destroy the Power Rangers, said Rita. Yes, my Empress, said Tommy, and he teleported to the command center. Aye, 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 said Alpha, and Tommy rolled under him and pulled out his wires as he falls over.
Whoa.
How did you get in here? Asked Zordon. Without a power coin. I have a power coin, said Tommy, holding up his power coin. I'm here to destroy you. And Tommy starts destroying panels. Tommy, you're being tricked, said Zordon. Goodbye, old man, said Tommy.
Damn.
No, Tommy, no, said Zordon, fading away.
I'm not that old.
Tommy teleports to Angel Grove and attacks citizens. The Rangers see this and run into a vacant building.
They leave.
God.
They see this and flee.
Holy shit.
It's morphin' time, said Jason. They run out of the building and the Rangers attack the Green Ranger. He beats them all and Rita tells him to fall back. The Rangers go back to the building and Jason says, "Power down!" and the suits vanish. Zordon, can you hear me? Said Jason says into his wrist communicator, but all he gets is static. Something is wrong, Jason attempts to teleport, but it doesn't work. Nothing works. How are we going to go back to the command center? I have an idea, says Billy. Let's go to my house.
Okay.
Like, I know the context of it, but it's really funny. He says, let's just go to my house if we can't go to Zordon.
It'll blow over.
Oh, God.
My house will be the new command center.
Any objections? No?
When they arrive at Billy's house, he unveils a car. What's this? Asked Zach. A bug version of the Back to the Future car? No, this is the Rad Bug, said Billy. It can fly us to the command center.
Is the rad bug real?
Yes, and it can really fly.
Okay.
Billy made it in his garage.
Okay.
Let's go, said Jason, and they all pile into the car and they fly to the command center and find it trashed. What happened here? Said Jason. Oh, Alpha! Shouted Trini, seeing the robot in pieces. Billy, can you fix him? I can try, said Billy. And then we can find Zordon. The viewing globe activates, and it shows the green Power Rangers saying, "To the end of the Power Rangers." To be continued. Next time on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, President Clinton is furious at what the Green Power Ranger is doing, and he blames it on all the Power Rangers. Tommy captures Jason, and now the other Rangers must fight the Green Ranger without Jason. Will they be able to unite under Zack as the leader instead of Jason, or is this the end of the Power Rangers? Find out next time on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Why is Clinton so obsessed with this one small-town neighborhood crime?
Because that's where the woman crashed down. That's where Rita is bringing all the bad stuff.
Okay, yeah. It is a space emergency, I guess. Wait, is the command center with Zordon in space? No?
The command center is on Earth, but how it works is Zordon is connected through the morphing grid. He exists as basically a deity, so he like travels through space and time and stuff like that. But which is why the movie doesn't make any sense, because he's just a gross man trapped in the bottom there. That's not how they wanted to do it at all.
Oh my god.
But he's supposed to be like this ethereal being that can grant the power of the morphing grid, but he himself is just like ethereal, so he can't do anything with it.
So why did they want to go to space then? So they can like visit him in person in a different location?
What do you mean?
They're flying in his bug.
No, they're flying to the command center.
Oh, which is like in the desert, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Billy made a stupid rad bug.
Because I said earlier when they walked out, they couldn't have done it in space. They would have just died. Which is why I was like, what are they doing? It's in space.
You know, they just flew there instead of driving.
Okay.
I think that's all I'm going to read for now, though.
Okay. Yay!
Because according to this, there's still 4 more chapters of Green with Evil, which is true to the show, I suppose. But I don't really feel like it anymore. There wasn't as much God as I wanted.
I rate that Clinton green in the face with evil.
I rate that a Lady Gaga episode of Simpsons slowly killing Billy out of 10.
My favorite episode.
Out of 10.
Lisa goes gaga. Lisa goes gaga.
The most evil phrase.
By the most evil person.
Now you can get the power with your own Power Rangers gloves with built-in Karate Shop sound effects. Just squeeze the button. Turn on the TV projector lamp and shine it anywhere to summon other Rangers. Touch your wrist and the gloves sing. Get the Power Ranger Room Defender, a motion detector that scares off the bad guys.
Stand back! This room is protected by the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers!
Thus saving the world.
Saban's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers gloves, TV projector lamp, and room defender sold separately from Happiness Express.
And we're back.
Okay. Opening my story. What's our time like?
We're at an hour, so...
Okay.
just have fun with it.
The day started out like most days at the Aqua Base. The Rangers defeated the latest monster that Queen Banshira resurrected. Carter sees Dana headed his way. "Hi, Dana. Where's your dad?" he asked. "He's taking a new intern. For some reason, General McKnight told Dad to show the intern around."
I hate when they have nondescript interns. My mind is racing at who it could be.
Hold on. Okay, they refer to Dana as Dan, which threw me off because I thought it was a different third guy named Dan who entered the room.
Dan.
"I didn't know the Aqua Base took interns." "Usually no, but this guy is interested in science, so he'll be with the scientist," Dana said. I'm doing a lot of abbreviating because this is written very haphazardly. I'll try to
read these verbatim.
Okay. "Usually no, but this guy is interested in science, so he'll be with the scientist," Dana said. "Why doesn't Miss Fairweather show intern around?" Carter asked. "She's working on something new for us. I don't even know what it is. Also, I think she wants to avoid Joel as much as possible," Dana said. "Have you seen Joel yet?" Carter asked. Not today, but the day's still early, Dana said. What about Chad or Kelsey? Carter asked. Yeah, they're somewhere around here, Dana said. Captain Mitchell enters the room with a young, skinny African-American man. He wore his pants higher than most people, and he also wore suspenders. He also had big red frame glasses. Is that the intern? Carter asked, pointing to the man. I think so, Dana said.
I know this. Oh no! This was my backup.
Captain Mitchell and the man walked up to Carter and Dana. Captain Mitchell called the Power Rangers the Lightspeed Rescue Project. He introduced the intern to Carter and Dana. Ah, Carter, Dana. I'd like you two to meet our new intern, Stephen Urkel. He comes to us from a university in Chicago. Carter and Dana, my daughter, are two of the members of the Lightspeed Rescue Project, Captain Mitchell said.
I remember there was an episode of Lightspeed Rescue where Dana was supposed to go, or she wanted to go help out the Rangers fight an actual bad guy, but her dad was like, you can't, you need to go fishing with the commissioner. And she's like, but there's death. And he's like, you can't blow this for me. Go fishing with him.
Go fishing with Stephen Urkel.
Like literally, like there was a monster destroying the city, and she was like in the side of the truck because she couldn't leave because she had to go on a fishing trip with like the commissioner or something.
That's horrible.
Dana and Carter shook hands with Steve. After Dana and Steve shook hands, he lost his balance. Captain Mitchell grabbed a hold of him. However, Steve accidentally pressed a few buttons on the conical.
A few.
A warning sound went off before Captain Mitchell pressed a few buttons quickly. They reminded of when Joel messed with the conical. Did I do that? Stephen asked. You're in luck that I was here. The worst thing you could have done was set the base into self-destruct mode, Captain Mitchell said. Sir, what department will Steve be interning in? Carter asked. That will be up to Miss Fairweather to decide, Captain Mitchell said.
Trying to think of a voice?
No, I'm trying to decipher these names because he abbreviates all the names.
Oh.
So, Dana, did you choose to work with your dad, or did he rope you into the project? Steve asked.
Well, after my mom died, I spent the summers here, so I guess I chose to be here. Although Dad told me he trained me to be a part of the Lightspeed project, Dana said. I didn't even know about the project until I was recruited, Carter said. Steve walked around the room, waving at everybody. He took a step back, bumping into another man. The man fell down. He caught a woman's hand. She fell down, accidentally knocking two more people down. The woman fell into a conical. Captain Mitchell ran to turn the alarm off. Steve looked at the man he bumped into and said,
Look what you did.
Dana and Carter looked at each other with blank faces. Joel, Chad, and Kelsey ran into the room. Steve notices Joel's cowboy hat. What's going on? We have an intern here, Captain Mitchell said. He introduced Steve to Chad, Kelsey, and Joel. The three greeted Steve. After Captain Mitchell told the three that Steve caused a couple of false alarms, Carter, Dana, Joel, Chad, and Kelsey walked into another room.
Just a couple.
Walking down the hall, Chad asked, wait, which one's Chad? It's the guy we're talking to us, right? No, that was Carter. I guess Chad is a new person.
Yes. Chad just walked in. Keep up with your Lightspeed lore.
God, I'm trying to find where it was. Since when did the Aquabase have interns? That's Chad. It's rare. I was one, Dana said. The way he's dressed, you think he's a demon or a monster sent here by Queen Banshira? Joel asked.
Queen Banshira, that's a bad one, boys. Look her up.
I doubt it, Kelsey said. I don't know. He doesn't look normal, Joel said. The five of them were about to walk into a room when Carter said, So he dresses a little different. I'm sure Dad wouldn't let him stay past their first meeting if Dad thought Steve was a demon or a monster in disguise, Dana said. I agree with Dana. If we get a new Zord or weapon that malfunctions, then we probably can blame Steve, Carter said. A few hours later, Captain Mitchell and Steve met up with Angela Fairweather. Captain Mitchell introduced the two of them before they shook hands. Then Captain Mitchell told Steve that he would be a part of Angelina's team. Oh boy, where do I start? Steve asked. I need to know more about you first, Angela said. Angela started the process of trying to figure out where Steve fit best at the Aquabase. Sometime later, Carter, Chad, Dana, Joel, and Kelsey were finished up their ranger training. The 5 of them, bless you, were about to go get some dinner when an alarm sounded. The 5 of them ran to find Captain Mitchell to see what was going on. Before they could find Captain Mitchell, Dana spotted Steve. He stood behind a table that started smoking. Dana got the others to stop. Chad, Kelsey, and Joel looked at Carter.
I thought for a second you said he started smoking.
That's how I read
That's
it.
what I thought.
It's just like
That's why I laughed when I said he started smoking.
He's like slouched back as he does, smoking a fucking cigarette in his
He's
lip.
like slumped against the wall on the floor.
cigarettes hanging out of his mouth.
I believe you know what to do, Joel said to Carter. And that's the end. That was nothing.
I rate that story nothing out of 10.
I rate that one smoker along with him, the Steve, out of 10.
Did I do that?
Oh my god. That's right.
Blowing rings.
Audience, if you haven't seen any episodes of Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, please watch the Steve Urkel episode. It is genuinely decent. It has a lot of really funny moments. You get to watch Robo Urkel try to chase the Mystery Machine, and he grinds like Shadow the Hedgehog on a freeway for a second. It's really funny. And then you hear Shaggy, and he's all like, don't you hate Urkel like any normal person? He's casting shade on this man.
Stefan Urkel.
That's a missed opportunity. They could have done that with him.
If only. Well, I suppose that wraps things up for us around these parts.
Dang, that was pretty speedy. I guess, there's not much to do with Urkel on the power base.
I actually did have another one that's pretty short and like not even 1,000 words.
Go ahead.
That I thought was pretty funny, but I had just been holding on to this Bible one for so long. I really wanted to finally read it.
I really do like the political implications of that one.
Yeah.
It's really unnecessary and funny.
Okay, so the intensity was on. Wave 19 of zombies on Call of Duty Black Ops Zombie mode, the highest anyone of the group sitting on the TV had gotten. Ben sat there, controller in hand, jumping over objects as he scrambled to get more ammo to take out the waves of zombies barreling towards his character. A slice of his knife here and a grenade there, thrown over there, but the zombies could absorb more punishment than the Wave 1 zombies. Ben ended up at the elevator, which was his only hope to escape the relentless zombie horde, ready to derail his Wave 20 triumph. The elevator doors opened and he bolted in and tried to click the button to no avail. The zombie horde got closer and Ben's friends' cheers and laughs got louder, but Ben stayed focused and finally clicked the elevator button properly, and the elevator door shut. The friends watching cheered in celebration, but it didn't last long. When the elevator door opened and Ben gunned for a gun chalk outline on the wall, purchasing a gun in the last-minute attempt to pass the round, but as he swung his character around, he was surrounded and taken down by the zombies, ending his streak at 19 waves. His mates sighed as none of them had made it to Wave 19, and on this day, they still hadn't. Ben sat in disappointment as he was so close to, and a small mistake cost him the chance to be the first one to reach Wave 20. Good attempt, but Wave 20 is still up for grabs still, Josh bragged. Josh was Ben's older cousin by 14 months. Ben and Josh, even though weren't brothers, acted a lot like brothers majority of the time. They spent as much time as they could together. Every family gathering they went to, they would always end up at another's place for an extra couple of hours or even the night.
This seems really like self-insert.
Right.
Yeah. Now that they were going to the same high school since school started 4 days ago, they had spent every recess and lunch together and introduced each other.
Recess?
Yes.
Oh no.
I love high school. Go ahead.
High school recess. Good times.
If fucking only.
So you're like, hold on. Okay, that is true, which mean I will be grabbing it, Ben says determined. The boys turned off the PlayStation and all go on to sitting on the couch to all of them head home, leaving Ben at home by himself. He ends up in his room on his laptop, scrolling through Facebook and Googling random stuff on the internet. After school was boring to Ben as he had nothing left to do, nothing to watch on TV, and only played on the PlayStation when he had friends over. 8 p.m. appeared on the bottom of his laptop screen and he decided to have shower. He got up, grabbed his pajamas from the wardrobe, and opened the door to the bathroom. "I'm having a shower!" Ben announced to anyone who could hear him as he entered the bathroom and shut the door behind him.
He decided to have shower. I'm having a shower!
He decided. He turned the knobs for the hot and cold water until he got the right temperature, slid out of his school clothes, and jumped into the shower, letting the warm water hit his body and slide down until it hit the shower floor. The week was almost up and year 7 wasn't hard so far, but Ben wondered if it would get harder with all the new classes that... Is this one of those weird places that don't have a middle school? So like 7 and 8 are part of it and then 6 is part of elementary?
Yeah.
That's weird, isn't it?
That is weird.
Anyway, Ben wondered if it would get harder with all new classes and that each class would hand out homework for the weekend. The classes weren't always boring. Sports class was mainly dodgeball. Sport class. Gym.
Sport class.
Sport class was mainly dodgeball, but that would change as the weeks progress, and they start getting into the proper curriculum. Ben had started making friends from his form class, which in year 7 and 8 were the same batch of students for all classes. Bailey introduced himself to Ben on the first day. He was a bit cocky, but was someone Ben warmed up to during the week. The other 2 people Ben had got along with during his week were 2 girls named Zoe and Carly. Zoe was very tomboyish and confident, while Carly was very shy and seemed worried about what people thought about her, but Ben found her cute. Ben had caught himself thinking about her when he got bored in class, and he was sure that Carly had caught him staring at her a couple of times.
I thought he said he stared at Carly, but he got bored really fast.
Just bored of her existence.
Don't even
I got
know
bored of not
her.
paying attention and staring at the back of this girl's head all class.
After Ben's shower, he jumped back into bed and opened his laptop. He opened up his browser and typed in YouTube, scrolling through funny dog videos and song cover videos, watching selecting ones, laughing and singing along to the covers until a light started to shine through his window.
I can already tell you it was 2010 because of the song covers on YouTube too.
I hate this person so much.
Ben's cool. He have shower.
What'd he do? He fucking said, I'm in bed. I watch YouTube.
He got to Wave 19 in Black Ops Zombies. You ever done that?
It's not bad.
I guess you're right. I haven't.
Ben, confused and curious, jumped out of bed and looked out his window, but he couldn't see anything now that he was looking. He knew it was probably just a plane, but it seemed low, and he knew that the airport wasn't near his home. He decided to double check and to clear his doubts on it and walked out of his room, through the kitchen and living room to the front door, which was already open. As he walked out onto his driveway, he saw his mother, father, and older brother looking up at the sky. Above them was a blimp slowly making its way across the sky. All of Ben's neighbors were all outside looking at the blimp. The blimp was big, and from what Ben could see from the streetlights, that the color of it was purple with a huge N in the middle of it. Ben hadn't seen anything like it.
Listen, there's nothing this blimp could be that isn't funny. A giant blimp going through some kid's neighborhood.
They all watched as it slowly disappeared into the night, all trying to figure out why a blimp was so low
How
and
did
why
they
there
hear
was...
it?
It's a blimp. It goes, and they said it lit up the sky because it was so low to the ground.
Okay.
They all watched as it slowly disappeared into the night, all trying to figure out why a blimp was so low and why there was a blimp in their area in the first place. Ben shrugged it off as nothing and decided to get some sleep. He had seen enough for one day.
He's a kid, whatever, who cares?
And that's all they got.
What? Is that neocortex?
Yes, this was a Crash Bandicoot Power Rangers crossover.
That's very scary.
That is.
I'll read the description because it was a lot more promising. Not that wasn't great.
No, I know.
A mystery blimp rocks the town of Happy Cove when the robotic scientists start appearing in the town, and a doctor known as Neocortex starts his plan for evil domination over the world. But when a tiki mask known as Aku Aku finds 5 teenagers to fight against in his evil ways, Cortex finds them to be a thorn in his side and wages war against the Power Rangers tribal warriors.
That is really promising. Damn.
Yeah,
I like
Aku
how
Aku
the
was gonna
tribal-
be sword on.
The tribal warriors are just in like a suburban town.
They have the tribal powers.
They're connected with their inner tribe.
I rate that story 1 tribal warrior out of 5.
I rate that having a rating. I have a rating out of 5.
I rate that a 19 out of almost 20.
Okay, I think that's going to do it for tonight. Hey, Elias, what do you want to talk about on the next exciting episode of Crossing the Line podcast?
Oh shit.
Oh shit, that'll be our next podcast.
Have we already done My Hero Academia?
Yeah,
Damn.
we could do another one.
True.
No.
There's a ton of My Hero ones.
I mean, yeah, there's gonna be more in like half a year though.
It's topical.
True.
That's true.
We can
Alright.
always do a part 2.
We can do another My Hero.
I love My Hero. I remember last year we read one that had Jimmy flying to Japan.
Yeah.
And then he got intercepted by heroes.
It's the perfect time to upload Hero Killer Cosby to fanfiction.
Finally, you just reread your face.
There's a great one here I found.
Wow, that was fast.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna go. Whoa.
Good night, happy Halloween.
Steven, sentence makes yourself into saying something racist.
Okay, you really put me on the spot with this one. I can make Robotnik do it.
I'm gonna stop recording.
Don't.
You have 5 seconds.
Okay.
5,
So redneck, come
4.
Look up Prince Vegeta on YouTube, reviews hood anime.
Come on! The internet is slow!
1.
No!
Redneck, I hate what I want. I hate niggas. I hate faggots. I hate Jewish people. I hate sex. I hate the Asian. I hate
Robotnik
you.
the redneck.
Robotnik, you can't say those things live on the show.
I hate niggas.
Robotnik didn't say that.
I'm a redneck. I hate what I
No, he didn't
want.
say that.
I hate niggas. I
Yes,
hate
he did.
faggots. I hate Jewish people.
Yeah.
I hate sex. I
No wonder that show got canceled.
I hate Jewish people. I love that the edit here, they just fucking take out the red on his costume and put flannel underneath. I love that so much. That's a classic right there, 2012.
No wonder people don't listen to our show.
There was a re-upload from a year ago.
Bye.
Bye.